Hello and welcome to today's video. So I had a particularly good November and I picked up a couple of little collections which I was very pleased about, and that's what we're going to be having a look at today. We've got probably the best part of 100 books at least to go through, many of which do need a bit of a clean though, so that's cool. That's why we're here doing it. Delighted to get this one. This is Q36. It's published in 1960 by Ronald Searle, K. Webb, who was the Puffin editor, and it was like a book that Penguin published for World Refugee Day in June 1959. Very nice. And this is published as part of their miscellaneous series, which is why it's a Q. So very pleased to get that one for my collection. I also picked up this one, which is also cool. It's by Beauty and the Beast, the artwork of Chris Achilleos. So Chris Achilleos was a Greek painter. He's still around today. Most famous for his Doctor Who covers. In fact, there are some of his Doctor Who jackets. But he did lots of other work as well. Lots of books for the covers for the Gore series by John Norman. And a real slice of 70s and early 80s cover artwork. So I picked that one up as well, which is particularly nice. So these ones here are what they call the Forces Book Club, and these were published by Penguin during the war and sent to on subscription to armed servicemen overseas. Now these are in very delicate state. They're amongst the most rarest penguins that you can find, and they have got, like that one's got a little bent over cover and that. They are all in need of a restoration job, and to be honest, I'm going to show you them now, but they're going to be the subject of a dedicated video where I go through all my sort of Forces Book Club and foreign releases. But I thought, since I've got these, I thought you might just enjoy at least seeing them, because these are by far some of the most rare Penguin books ever published. Very scarce indeed. Now, one of the other things I picked up this month was a huge, and when I say huge, I mean a massive box load of Belmont Tower American paperbacks. This one's a services edition, a POW one. Belmont Tower paperbacks, of which I shall be going through those in like a dedicated separate video. See, these are super rare, so I'm so delighted to get so many in one hit to go with what was my somewhat meager collection of these. They really don't turn up. I think there's a couple of collectors in the UK who've got good runs of them, basically between 70 and 80 each, but no one's got all 120 that got published. So there's those ones, and got these ones here as well, which are they are Forces Book Clubs, but they've been rebound, but they were Forces Book Club titles. So yeah, 2 books in one. And this is Growing Up in New Guinea, and it's published for the Forces Book Club there, but it's been rebound, possibly in a prisoner of war camp, who can tell. And here's another one here, Profiles from the New Yorker, once again published for the Forces Book Club. It was not uncommon to see paperbacks get rebound during the war. Paper rationing was so intense back then, and reading was such, it was one of the few luxuries that we could keep going during the Blitz and the Second World War, that very delicate paperbacks did get rebound, and that's what's happened to those. So very nice to have, but also cleaning them is going to be a bit more of a job beyond the scope of this video, but I did just want to at least show you that I had them. This is nice. So I collect them youth and sixpennies, and they list up to number 20 on the back. I honestly don't think they went much past that. I pick up maybe 1 or 2 a year, and I've got maybe, I think I might have about 8 in my collection now. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. The early ones came in a dust wrapper. This one hasn't come in with a dust wrapper, so I don't know if that changed a little bit further on down the line. Just see if I can find the date on this. 1940. Yeah, see, it may have been that they just couldn't afford the extra paper to publish this one in a dust wrapper like some of the earlier novels. Apart from that, it's actually not a bad copy. It's quite sort of grubby on the front, but not a great deal you can do about that one. But once again, Youth and Sixpennies, a very similar format to the Penguins of the time and the Collins Crime Club titles. all published around the same sort of time. So once again, that is as good as it's going to get. So I'm just going to leave that on the pile of books that aren't going to be touched today. And that will be along with these Albatross books. So I was extremely lucky and picked up 2 Albatross Agatha Christie titles. Now, once again, these are super rare, cover detached, and in nice fine condition. The prices on these goes from between £100 and £250 a pop. Now, these are complete, but they are in, as you can see, fallen to bits condition. So all I can really do on those, sadly, is I'm just gonna put them in a bag and be grateful that I've even got one, because they're incredibly rare. So once again, not a great deal I can do with regards cleaning that one, and I'm not even going to try for now. There is a chance that I might get my friend to do me a replacement spine. Then I could glue the pieces back together, and I'll get a replacement spine popped on that, because it's not something that, although it'll be fiddly, it's definitely something that's possible. And this was the other one. This was in slightly better condition, because it actually has 2/3 of a spine. Murder on the Orient Express. This was the first time that these classic titles had ever been put into paperback form, and I collect all the different editions of Christie's books in paperback, and this is a real rarity. Once again, even in this sort of poor condition, I would expect that at auction to go for perhaps £30 to £50, depending on how desperate someone was. I think Albatross published 12 Christie's, either 10 or 12, and they're all mega rare. They're the most collectible Albatross books that are out there. Now, these were from the same guy, and he had this set of 4 Oscar Wilde, the stories of Oscar Wilde, and it's they were all published by Albatross again. And these Albatross books, these are what the Penguins were, this is what they were modelled on back in the day. Alan Lane saw these Albatross books on his many visits to the continent and thought, I've got to bring something similar back to the UK. And that's what he did. So that's okay. Obviously, I'm just checking these to see if there's any sort of writing inside. This one doesn't appear to have even been read. Oh, that's lovely. I love it when we get these. This is a little mailer card from Albatross themselves. Look, there we are. Printed in France. These were not to be sold in the UK. Love them. Penguin did that, of course, and so did Pan. Excellent stuff. That's really nice, that one. But yeah, you wouldn't believe some of the sci-fi stuff we've got to look at today. It's fantastic, so I cannot wait to share some of it with you. As I said, this Belmont Tower mega load is going to have to be a dedicated video in itself, similar to the way I did the Door books. I'll do the entire publisher in one hit. What's this? Look, from Grandma with love to Nicola. Look at that, the Christmas pudding. Looks like that's come from a like a Christmas card, or well, who knows? But that's really nice. It's a little period piece. It's got the Albatross thing in. I shall keep that together because that's quite a nice little association with that one, isn't it? The same seller, because I picked up that little off eBay. The same seller actually did have a run of about 50 Albatross books, but over 2/3 of them I already owned, so I decided against bothering to pick those up, to be honest, because it was just be doubling up, and they weren't all in fantastic condition or anything like that. So none of those are going to need any sort of polishing, but at least they've been gone through. So next thing then, we'll start working on these beautiful, I got a run of J.G. Ballard paperbacks, so we'll start going through these. Now, I have already got J.G. Ballard, but this was one of the reasons why I bought this collection, was because although I've got a few, I've got his early ones in Penguin, I haven't by any means got them all. Well, that's actually really nice. Just going to need a cover polish. And my friend Andrew, who runs the Outlaw Bookseller channel on YouTube, Andrew and I used to work together, and he's still in the book game. And we were both buyers for a national book chain at one point, and lots of common interests, so we're good friends. And Andrew's just started up his channel, and of course he met Ballard many times. He went to lots of signings, and he was been in the book trade a bit longer than me. He started in the 80s, and he got to meet JG very quite often, and he still writes about him today. So he put up a video of his collection of JG Ballard hardbacks, and it was really something. So do go and check out the Outlaw Bookseller if you get a chance. This is lovely, isn't it? These Panther sci-fis are just awesome. This one's got a sticker on Richard Booth's. That's in Hey on Why. Now I'm sort of in two minds whether to tackle that or not, to be honest. I don't know. It's such a lovely copy of this. Yeah, so first Panther, 1975. All of these are first editions, I believe. I got some multiple editions. That's such a nice copy. I just don't want to touch that, because I just think that sticker is going to cause no end of trouble, and I would prefer to have left it. So yeah, here's another one. I guess Richard Booth must have had a little collection when my friend bought these. High rise. They're great, aren't they? This is a quite collectible Panther sci-fi, Crash. This is the one that was made into the film. Lovely, got a little £2 inside. It goes for a bit more than that these days. And this, I was really glad to get this because it's one I haven't got. And I don't actually need, I think sci-fi wise, I'm only now short of one Ballard in paperback for his sci-fi work, and I maybe need about 3 or 4 of his sort of mainstream paperbacks if I wanted to try and track down his whole output. But of course, when he started writing some of his early stuff like The Terminal Man and Drowned World and that, they were published by Penguin, and in Penguin Sci-Fi, and he really fitted the Penguin list, I think. So I suppose as we're going through this, these sort of monthly cleaning videos are also sort of catch-up vlogs in a way, aren't they, about what's been happening with myself and the channel. So the main news is finally the studio has been built. So I say studio, it is at present just a shed. However, from tomorrow we should have some power there, and then I've got to now the shell's been up, we'll get it powered up. Then we've got to get it insulated with some lining inside. Then the electrician has to come back and put in the fittings. This is an early one. He has to put the fittings in, the plug sockets and the overhead lighting. Then I can start soundproofing it. So I'm going to buy several packs of the foam soundproofing. And I'm going to do every single surface, including the ceiling. And hopefully that's going to make a huge difference with regards how good the sound is on my videos, because of late I've been suffering from a bit of echo because of where the environment I'm having to film these. So I've given up using one of my microphones, and I'm just using a lapel mic now, which is actually getting me much better sound. So since the studio was built, I've laid a sort of a temporary path with my son over the weekend. And what this is going to do is, just because the studio's in our top sort of garden area, which isn't being used, we have to wait until the summer now, really, to get that top end of the garden sort of landscaped, and we're going to get it paved out. That's the plan anyway. But it's the wrong time of year to do that, so I'm just going to concentrate on the studio itself, so I can get it up and running and be usable, hopefully before the end of 2021. But more likely, it's, you know, because of various delays and the time of year and waiting on tradesmen, it's more likely to be early January. However, each little step of the process I have actually been recording. So from the assembly to laying the paving stones, clearing the path, all the different bits of it have been recorded. And I think it's going to make quite a fascinating video, from seeing the empty area from start to finish. But this has very much been possible thanks to the help of my Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. So if you've not already joined our Patreon or YouTube channel memberships, please do. It really, really does help, and it's going to help me continue getting the studio looking as good as possible. But even so far, it just looks fantastic. I'm so over the moon with it. You wouldn't believe it. It's another Ballard. Said we had a really good run, didn't I? What a fantastic little collection this is. Just delighted. There's a penguin one, which I've already got. So some of them are doubles. Some of them are reprints with different jackets. These are the Alan Aldridge, the David Pelham covers, rather, which are really distinctive, aren't they? And he did a few. So I don't think these are generally first editions. These are just with the new jackets. Yeah, so this is first published in '67, which is the one that I've got, but this is the reprint with this jacket on. But like quite a few of these, it's just got a little bit of pencil marking to rub out. So I recently had my birthday, and my wife treated me to a set of all 10 volumes of the War Illustrated, which was a part work published. Well, they were published weekly during the war. Every week there was one, and then you could send your copies away, or just buy the bound issues at the end of the war. And it was a set of those. That's a lovely copy, although it's one I've already got. It was a set of those, and she bought me those in their original shipping boxes for my birthday. But they were quite ancient, as you could imagine, 70 odd years old. So in that time they'd amassed quite a bit of dirt and grime and everything else. So I've done a dedicated video, because it took about an hour just cleaning those. But what I thought I'd do, I just pop that up on my sort of dedicated cleaning channel. There's no sort of blog about what's been happening or anything. It's just a dedicated cleaning video. It's okay. Still got a few more to go. These are some of the earlier Penguin ones. I said most of these I actually already had in my collection. That's a Penguin sci-fi collection, but it's always nice to have doubles, and I won't have any trouble moving these on online if they are doubled up. I don't remember my Ballards being like amazing condition or anything, so I'll definitely have to compare them before I let any go. And once I've got the whole lot, I'll do a dedicated Ballard video, I think, because that'll be really cool as an author to sort of have a look at and study. Right, so on that pile then, and these other ones there, those Albatrosses, I'm going to give them all a rub with my brush along the edges here. So let's do these bottom edges. They don't seem particularly bad, these sci-fi ones, so that's good news. Not compared to some of the stuff I've had to clean lately. No, they're actually really good. All they're going to need, final step, is going to be a polish, which we'll do in a little while. So I'm going to be really treating you today, because as well as a run of J.G. Ballard, I've also got a run of Philip K. Dick to go through as well. And once again, it's not my full Philip K. Dick collection. I've got some American Ace editions, and I've got some other books in my collection. None of those are here, but because of what I've got today, it is going to mean that a dedicated Philip K. Dick video is now also on the horizon, because I've got a bit more of his output in paperback first. Lovely. So they're all ready to be polished. But the next author we're going to look at, this is a little run of Philip Jose Farmer. So he's another author that I really enjoy, and this is there's quite a few more American editions here, and that's because not everything got printed in the UK. He didn't always. I don't really think he got massive acclaim until the Riverboat saga started getting published, and then we did have like dedicated British editions. But beyond that, I think a lot of the copies that came to the UK were imports of the American editions. Certainly there was quite a bit which got missed, and the only way to get them is to track down the original USA editions, which in actual fact I prefer, generally speaking, to the British ones. But I remember as a kid, I used to go into a shop in my hometown called Bonus Books, and every month I would always go in there, because the shop was directly below where my gran lived. She lived in some flats in the centre of town. The shop was below it, and also I'd been going in there since I was a kid, really, and I used to buy sort of comics off them, but predominantly I went in there because they were always the first shop in town to get the new Doctor Who Target book, you see. So I would always go in there, and I remember I got quite friendly with the owner, and he lent me a copy of To Your Scattered Bodies Go, the first of the Riverworld, and from then ever since I was a kid, I really enjoyed it. The author. So this is a later Ace one. These aren't all first editions, but most of them are. So yeah, I think into the new year then, it's going to be a lot of refining of the new studio. I'm going to need to, there is so much to do on it. I've got to get a floor put in, so I'm going to try and carpet it to start once again to absorb sound and echo. I'm going to need to get some new microphones installed. I'm going to try and get one which dangles from the ceiling, so as I record this it would be just above the frame, as it were, and that might be quite cool. So I'm going to look into getting that, and I'm definitely going to go multi-angle. So at the moment, I've got my fixed camera. I've not really got any what they call B-roll, so it'd be nice if I could mix the angles up a little bit and make these videos a bit more interesting. Although I know you just love looking at the books and watching me clean them, so I hope in that department I'm at least delivering. This is an Ace double. Got a bit of wear on it, but these are pretty scarce, so I'm not going to complain too much. Got a few of those later Ace doubles. This is an example of a British one, a quartet. I think this is early 70s or mid 70s, 75, yeah. I just don't like the British editions quite as much as the nice American ones, but that's just me. Yeah, so the studio's got so much to do on it. That's the problem, there really is. It's Rome was not built in a day, and my studio won't be either. However, the fact that I've actually got the building done, that was the hardest part. The rest of it's going to be a cakewalk in comparison, But, as an example, the electrician, I'm filming this on a Sunday, the electrician was due yesterday. The wholesalers let him down, so a couple of the bits, including the outside sort of insulating electrical wires, were not there. So, he's been let down. Let's put that back a day or two, so he's going to have to try and do it after work and things like this. And those are the sorts of hurdles I'm going to be up against. So that's why I'm a realist, and I know that these things are not going to be ready just like that. I'm going to have to be patient. Here's an old Harlan Ellison, another lovely Panther sci-fi. Yeah, I'm just going to have to be patient. That's all it is. So I shall try to be. But yeah, ultimately, I want the quality of the videos to really improve. And although I don't think I'll be able to increase my output with the amount of videos that I produce, it is going to make it easier for me to record them at a more convenient time. So my sort of filming to life balance will be a bit better, shall we say, which can't be a bad thing. This is a Philip K. Dick, the first couple here. Loads more to do later on. There's a couple of American ones. He's there's the first couple there, highly collectible author, old Philip K. Dick, you know. Highly collectible. These top edges are blast. All of these can have a bit of polish on. It's not going to hurt them. Hopefully it will set them off quite nicely. Lovely. There was more on those than met the eye, I think, there. Okay, I was really delighted to get these fiction illustrated. Now, one of them I already had, which was this one, because it was this Chandler novel, and it's by one of my all-time favourite artists, Jim Steranko. Look at that, look at the artwork in it, I just love it. No idea if it's collectible or not. I would be surprised if it wasn't, but I'm going to definitely give that one another read. But I have already got that one, so I was really pleased to get these three. Now these aren't going to be polished, but I'm just going to wipe the top edges off. And that, I believe, is the full set of those, so really that's really cool. I can go on the not to be polished pile. Right, what have we got next? Some Pan and some Hodder. So got a bit of John Christopher now. So John Christopher, of course, was most famous for the Tripods trilogy, which was, you know, sort of aimed at kids, to be honest. Barbarossa was the cover artist on that. Lovely, isn't it? The Tripods sort of books, the Tripods trilogy, and they were sort of aimed at young adults more than adults. But that's when I read them, when I was a young adult, and I've always liked John Christopher since then. Lovely. So it was nice to find some of these 60s editions of his more adult books. So I'm trying to think what else has been going on. I've been filming, I've just started filming the beer a day. I got the Brewdog Advent Calendar for 2021. I missed out on it last year. It's a bit of fun, so you have to have one tin of beer a day, a tinny a day, but they're really nice flavours, and I've just put them up as like little YouTube shorts. So they've been doing all right, and on the gaming front, Ambernick have got a brand new handheld on the way. It looks like they're one of their most advanced ever produced, and they've asked if I'd like to have a review copy. I said, go on then, you know, because that'll be fantastic. Ellison here. So I'm looking forward to reviewing that one and starting a brand new series on that. It's the RG552. These jackets are great, aren't they? Now, I must talk about the other channel, of course. So I have got, in case you weren't aware, I've now got a dedicated unintentional ASMR book cleaning channel where I stick up a brand new, I am systematically working my way through my collection and cleaning the books as we go along. And there's lots of my older stuff that's never been touched in the way that I clean my books today. And for that reason, it's been really therapeutic, and I'm loving the process, and they look great once they've been done. So if you like these sorts of cleaning videos and have a look at the books and me chatting about them, do head over to my other channel, the Unintentional ASMR book cleaning and repair, another pillowcase, and you'll not be disappointed. There's quite a bit over there now. I think we're on to our 8th video now. Some of them have done phenomenally well, at several thousand views, so that's encouraging. Obviously it's all down to YouTube recommending your content, but we're on to a few hundred subscribers now, so we're on our way. Let's give these a little dust off. I just do one video a week over there, which is like one new video one week and then like a one from the archive the following week at the moment, just until the channel gets a little bit more established. And of course I've got my studio built then, and I'll be able to record a bit more a bit easier, and I'll be able to film those extra book videos at my leisure. I can, do them during the week, whereas at the moment I'm sort of I need to do it sort of when there's not a lot else going on in the household, and that's, it's just it's making the most of my time. So we now begin a run of about at least a dozen more Philip K. Dicks. We've already had a few today. This is a nice batch of Panther ones, so they're just gorgeous, these. I love them. They're not all first editions, some of them are reprints of course, but yeah, this was the 79 edition, first published Panther in 76, but it doesn't matter. Dick is such a collectible author. Like a lot of people, they collect all the different sort of editions and covers, because they're such fans, and I'm just very, very happy to have this particular little run. Yeah, so that's the first Panther from 78. Looks almost unread. So these are quite collectible. Philip K. Dick in particular as an author is collectible. It's as simple as that. Why he's quite as collectible as he is, I honestly don't know, but these great covers, aren't they? Was that Chris Foss? Yeah, look, Chris Foss, there we are. His ships were just amazing. It was massive, weren't they? He did a load of covers for the Asimovs, didn't he, in the 80s? At least that's when they were used, in the 80s. That's fine. Ooh, that's a great one. It's a skull cover. Now, I don't think that's the first, but first published in 1969. Yeah, the Panther was 73, and this is the Panther reprint from 78. But very, very nice copy of that one. So again, most of these have got a little £3 inside. So I guess that's what the guy paid for them. I paid a couple of quid for each of these, but I think it was worth it because Philip K. Dick is super collectible, and there's loads of these I haven't got. I mean, loads. I've got some, but nowhere near all of them. What a great cover that one is, isn't it? Is that Chris Foss again? No, Jim Burns did that one. And of course, these guys went on to all have their large format dedicated Paper Tiger albums, didn't they, with their brilliant cover artwork on. So our friends from Frolix 8. That is the first from 76, that one. So that's cool. But that's not all. We got more. We got more Philip K. Dick. Man in the High Castle. This is a reprint of the Penguin one. The first Penguin one, I believe I still need, which is a shame, but I thought the TV series was incredibly underrated. Did a very good job of it, but I think it was just a bit too complicated for your standard average audience. Talking of which, I've been enjoying, and this one's in several bits, I've been enjoying the Amazon series of Foundation, the adaptation of the Asimov books. I've really, really been enjoying that. So if you've not tried them yet, I would recommend it. There's 10 episodes in season 1. That's not Amazon actually, is it? It's Apple. It's Apple TV. I've got Foundation, and it shows there's no expense has been spared. It looks great. The Zap Gun. Cover illustration Peter Jones. This is the 78 reprint as well. funny, they actually look a little bit later than that, don't they? But they're not. It's hard to believe they're 45 years old, you know. This is Grafton, which is a HarperCollins imprint. Bit of a worn old copy, this one, but nice to have. Don't think I've got it. Spear, Counterclock World. This is a late 60s one, I think, or late 60s, early 70s. 1968, that, look at that. Lovely copy as well, isn't it? And I believe the last Philip K. Dick Finale, the Grafton, A Handful of Darkness. Chris Foss cover. That's 1988, that's one of the latest ones we've got. So let's give these a quick, because none of these have been too dusty, have they? We've been pretty lucky on that one, but I do have actually some quite a bit older books to look at in a minute, so we'll see how they hold up in comparison. I thought I was going to have, but we've done quite a bit of rubbing out of prices, but I thought I would have had a lot more work to do than I've actually needed to do, so from that point of view I'm pretty pleased. Right, and now we've got a little run of Pan books. It's again quite a bit of science fiction in here, because that was the main bulk of the collection that I bought. It was predominantly SF. I don't mind that, but there were a few odd Pan books that were part of the collection. It's always nice to pick them up, even if I've got them, because I can compare copies. Nice cover by Taylor here. The original Captain Blood book. Raphael Sabatini. Brilliant. Some sort of later 70s Pan science fiction now. That one at £3.50 inside. That seems quite expensive for that, but hey, what do I know? Seems expensive. Waldo and Magic Ink. No, I definitely haven't got it, so that's cool. See, these were a little bit outside my usual period for Pan books, so I'm not surprised a lot of these are new to me, but it's okay, I'm really glad to have them. It's a little bit worse for wear. That's okay, for £1 it's alright. Quite a nice run of Pan sci-fi here. Just a couple of little turned over pages is all. There we are. Bester. And these are pretty nice copies. They're just going to need a bit of a tidy up once they've been when they've been polished, but apart from that, they're not too bad, these, on the whole. Another Hyman, another one I don't recognise. At £3.95 inside this one, so I don't know where this one came from, but that seems a lot for that. But I suppose it's a really nice copy of it, but it's definitely not one that I recognise. Yeah, so pretty nice. I'm certain I've got this one in my collection already. Lovely. Give these the old brush. That second one in was bad, wasn't it? See the dust coming off that one alone. Bit more of a targeted brush on number 2 there. Cool. Surprising amounts of dust off some of those older ones there, but they are a bit, well, the Captain Blood is a 50s one, isn't it? So maybe that's why. Wow. Lovely. All looking good. Right, so we'll begin a little run of gold medal books that I was able to get as well. Same source. Quite scarce, some of these, but glad to have them. I haven't got many gold medals in my collection. They don't turn up in the UK that often. This one's got it's quite fragile, this one. It's got a little 50p there that I'm going to delicately get out. There we are. Very nice. Very, very nice. Few by this author, John Faulkner. By Day Keane. Wow, this one had £10 inside. God, ever such a delicate one. Just about got that erased without making it any worse. Very, very brittle paper, this particular book. It's okay, it's got some of its cover lamination coming off, but it's all there. I guess quite an expensive book, that one. But then again, it's hardly like mint or anything, is it? So sometimes you wonder what these people were thinking. Here's a later gold medal. John Christopher again. So once I've done this stack, I've got a stack of door books, ones that I haven't got. And I have had a few people say to me, "Oh, you're going to do that sort of proper walkthrough of your door collection." That's right. Believe me, it's coming up. It's another one by Faulkner. Because as well as the door book collection that I've got some a couple of nice door catalogues as well. That's nice, isn't it? I was just trying to see if they listed the cover artist on this one, and they don't. Which is a shame. The last of the gold medals. This is a British one. It's got the 4 shillings on. But yeah, I don't know for sure, but I'm just wondering who that cover artist was. If it was Roger Bonfils, possibly. I don't know. Right, these are going to need a bit of a wipe. The tops are pretty bad on these because they're old and they've been through the system, as it were. I'm not sure if the other book is possibly a Maguire cover. This one here. Not sure. Not sure. Lots of dust coming off these today. Off these particular ones. Lovely. Now they'll be okay to polish, but I'm just going to need to be a bit more careful than normal because of their age. Just giving that the second one in just a little bit more careful. They were really bad, those gold medals, but it's because of their age, of course. Very cool, very cool. Let's crack on. What goes on in the 5 continental sin spots? Paris, Rome, Hamburg, Copenhagen, Madrid. Well, what indeed goes on in Europe's dens of vice? Classic Sleaze. Ah, that's nice, isn't it? Michael Moorcock. There's a little... Looks like a bit of... Might be a bit of sticker residue on that one that we might be able to attack. Yeah. Let's just see if there's anything there that can peel off. Or... is that actually a rip? Very, very difficult to tell. I think we'll leave that until we get to the polishing stage. Here's another one by Compact. Nice condition book. Oh, it's an odd digit. Not sure if I've got this one or not. I don't recognise it. Shanty Girl, and looks like I'm going to need to get the old glue out on this one. Yeah, it's had a bit of amateur restoration, but we can pop a little slither of glue into that spine there. it will only be a slither. Just to fold that little bit in. It's already had an amateur repair done historically, not by me. But this should at least stop it getting any worse. There we are. Just folded over that little bit of spine there, which was looking a bit the worse for wear. But quite a scarce digit, I would imagine, that one. It's a little bit at the top as well. It's not one that I've got. I'm sure I haven't got this because I would have remembered the cover. There we are. So can't do a lot with it because it's generally quite rough, that one, but at least it's you know, as good as we can get it until we give it a polish. Here's a little Dell. I haven't got many of these later Dell ones. Burt Halliday. Lovely, that's come up all right. Quite a nice cover on that one. Minimalist, you could say. I think we'll give these a bit of a brush first of all. Yeah, a lot of these weren't too bad, sort of dust-wise, page edge dusting. Now this was good to get. I don't have many of these, so maybe about 3 or 4. And it was a series of novels based on the Marvel characters. I think there's about 20 in the series, but I don't believe they were sold properly in the UK. So all the copies have come over from America, and that's why they're sort of few and far between over here. But I love the Marvel series, the ones that they did as paperback adaptations, you know. This is good. Looking forward to actually reading this one. Good stuff. Lou Cameron's all right. A few turned over pages here. There's a few bent over pages, and there's a little 2 in there, but I don't know if it's in pencil or pen. It's quite difficult to tell. My rubber's playing up here. Squeeze down, there you go. Oh no, it was pencil, that's all right. I think that had a $2 in it. There we are. The chap I bought this collection off, he is British based, but travelled to America quite a bit. This is nice, isn't it? Screwdrugs, the movie Tide. I've not got this one. Quite an interesting film. One of those classic 70s ones, isn't it? Dustin Hoffman cover. Yeah, that's cool. It's one of the Quotamas editions I've not got. I've got the 3 original paperback ones, which were published by Penguin, but I haven't got this this edition. This is the Arrow one. Of course, this was the adaptation of the BBC serial. Here's another early Panther one. Not science fiction. The Captain's Woman. Got a bit of pencil marking inside here. So I recently released a video on the top 10 most valuable Pam books. That was quite an eye-opener, but it was a bit one-sided, you know, because there were so many James Bond books in there. I think I might do a follow-up with the top 10 most valuable Pam books which aren't James Bond related, because they're so collectible these days, and it sort of skews the results, as it were. Another Red Bradbury. I don't know if this is the first paperback of it. Dandelion Wine. Yeah, 1965. Lovely. So again, it's got a little bit of... Most of these have had a price of some sort to rub out of, haven't they? This is one I picked up separately. This wasn't in the same collection, but it's the American First of Goldfinger, paperback first. So pleased to get another Fleming out of the way of the US set, which I'm putting together. I'm over halfway on them now, and I've got the toughest ones out of the way, with the exception of, I think, Live and Let Die. This is interesting, isn't it? Dr. Death by Zorro. What a cover, eh? A Corinth suspense novel, book number 2. Curtis Steele. Looks brilliant, doesn't it? Certainly unusual. There we are. And one last John Christopher before we do our run of door books. There we are. Lovely. Right, let's give these a little old brush down. Real mixture of stuff this time, eh? Yeah, you'll see some fantastic stuff when I get round to doing the Belmont Towers. I'm going to try and actually film that video before Christmas, if I get the chance. And it may be I release it Christmas Day, so you might be in for a treat. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get it done by then, because there's a lot, but I want to do it all in one sort of video, really. So we'll have to just wait and see. Right, let's get this last little lot of door books in front of me. Right then, so theoretically these should all be door books that hopefully I haven't already got with a bit of luck, but until I go up into my main door collection and compare and check, I'm not actually going to know. But that's another reason for me to do my dedicated door video sooner rather than later. Love the door books with the distinctive yellow spines, unless they've got a bit faded, which does happen a lot with these. We can always see the door books from a million miles away. Josh Kirby cover on that one. First one to have a little price sticker in. While we're there, we give these a brush. Lovely. Nice. Number 22. Pretty sure I've not got that one. Yeah, pretty sure I've not got that. That's lovely, isn't it? The Return of the Time Machine. Like a follow-up to the H.G. Wells classic. Which I love. I love the Time Machine and I love the Invisible Man. I'm not such a fan of War of the Worlds, but I still love it. Nice to have these anthologies. Lovely stuff. I do like tall books a lot. I really do. Particularly the early 70s ones. The earlier ones, I just love them to bits. Lovely. Last little batch now. I don't want it to come to an end. There's so many good books in here. I've just been having a ball, really. This one's got a sticker inside. A sticker which covers up the penciled price. Quite unusual. Lovely. Excellent. These first few hundred doors are just bloody brilliant. I love them. Absolutely love them. Having these few here has really made me want to go and dig the main collection out. Because apart from what you've seen, there was stuff that I already had that was in that wasn't in the collection, and also I've got a couple of original door catalogues which are brilliant. I'd love to get some more, but they're so expensive getting them imported from the States, even though they don't weigh anything. Their catalogues are really nice. They're really period, and if you collect all that sort of, I love, as you know, I love related book catalogues and memorabilia, posters and stuff like that. I just love it. And the door stuff is no exception, but it's just hard to find in the UK because there was only a very limited amount of shops that even sold door back in the day. because they were almost all imports. A few of them had a distribution, but not many. Certainly not everything got released over here. The last one, Sob. Right, so that is all the books that we've got to look at today, and I just have to go through now, and the ones which have got the shinier covers, which is like the later stuff that we've just been doing, I'm going to give all of those covers a polish, albeit briefly, because there's nothing too like really dirty in this lot, just to bring out the take off any of the invisible grime and what have you, and that will be a job extremely well done. So let's get that organised now. Right then, I've sorted out all the books that are going to need a bit of a polish, and we're just going to zoom through these because they don't need masses of work, they just need a bit of work, and that's what we're going to do. We've done the main bulk, which was getting them clean as good as possible. And I'm not going to go mad on the polishing side of these unless they really need it, because some of these are just beautiful and they just don't need anything beyond a cursory once over. Such as this, which was a lovely old copy anyway. I'm not going to tackle that sticker because I believe it will just make something like that worse than it is. So if it's going to do more harm than good, your best bet is just to leave it there. Some of them definitely benefit from it, don't they? They really do. They just come up gorgeous. And that's cool as you like. So, this may well be the last cleaning video I do of 2021, and what a year it's been. In summary, wow, absolutely wow. The channel has gone from strength to strength, launched a second channel, got a studio built. I mean, all of those things, absolutely incredible, really. I've been able to increase the audience. The subscriber count is, as we speak, about 13,600, and I get between 400 and 500 new subscribers a month, which is amazing, really. That people are still finding me for the first time and thankfully liking what they see, which is cool. Certainly I've got some new series that I'm going to expand on, so the top 10's most valuable series is going to be one that I'll look at if I can at least approach it with some authority. So it's subjects that I've kept a close eye on, and I feel I can confidently say, look, this is what these books are going for. If I've seen enough data, then I know my facts are right. The last thing I want to do is just put stuff out for the sake of putting it out, and quite often some of this stuff requires quite a bit of research, so from that point of view alone, I won't just put rubbish out, But if there's a particular top 10 series you'd like me to tackle, so I've done the top 10 most valuable vintage Penguin books, and I've done, as of literally later today as I film this, the top 10 most valuable vintage pound books. And I've also already filmed the top 10 most valuable Doctor Who New Adventure books, because they're 30 years old this year, and they've there's a brand new book about that series being published, the Virgin Doctor Who New Adventures, which is very, very popular, continued Doctor Who stories once the series had gone off the air back in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And I remember selling a lot of those as a retailer. But what else would you like to see? Top 10 what? I'd be very interested to know. It needs to be fairly finite. You couldn't just say top 10 most expensive movie tie-ins, because it's impossible. There's just too many. But if it's top 10 by a publisher or top 10 by an author, that might be possible. Top 10 by a series. I think I'll probably do the top 10 Target books, most valuable Target books for Doctor Who. But yeah, let me know what you might fancy on that. Yeah, these are coming up lovely. Really, really nice. See, this one had a few little marks on the back, and it's just come up beautiful. It's a really nice copy of that one, actually. Is it a first? I think it is. First from 1967. It looks blimmin' pristine. Absolute corker of a copy. I mean, okay, he's not as collectible as, say, Philip K. Dick, but still very, very nice. So yeah, exciting times I think are going to be happening in the new year. I think we're, with the studio built, it's going to be, it'll be built in a way that I can have people come in and join me. So I can do interviews, which will be fantastic. And there can be two of us side by side talking about a particular subject. So I'm definitely going to invite my old business partner George down to talk about when we had our shop, Purple Haze, back in the day, back in the 90s. That's definitely on the agenda. I'm definitely going to be doing some live streaming. So that is something I'm really looking forward to now. So that is going to become a permanent little fixture, as much as I can fit in, basically. The only trouble with it is I may not have masses of notice about when I'm going to actually have the chance to do some live streaming, but it's on the agenda to do. So don't be surprised if you see, with like a day's notice or even less than that, a live stream. And if you do see it, say I'm live streaming, do please hop in and say hello, drop me a question or two that I might be able to answer. Just clean it up nicely. Got a little bit of sticker mark on the back, but I'm just going to give that the special treatment. There we are, it's dissolving the glue. Little circular motion. It's almost all gone already. There we are. Yeah, add a little sticker on the back of that one. Yeah, that's quite nice. Yeah, he took over the sort of the Doc Savage, didn't he? Old Jose Farmer. So yeah, I've been very much enjoying Foundation. So if you haven't tracked that one down, please do. On Apple TV, it's great. Also, the new Dexter revival is excellent, much better than I was expecting. So I've been enjoying that. Star Trek Lower Decks, almost finished those now. They're actually surprisingly good. Worth your effort. Only 20 minutes. It's a bit like watching an episode of The Simpsons, but they're worth your time. Also, we're catching up on the latest season of Fear the Walking Dead. That's been really superb. Really some of the best Walking Dead there's ever been. It's just stonking, really. Fantastic stuff. Comes highly recommended. Basically, if you've never followed The Walking Dead, obviously it's the apocalypse and, you know, the dead have risen again. But in the latest season, someone set off a nuclear warhead just to add insult to injury. And they're in a post-apocalyptic nuclear world now. I mean, it really doesn't get much grimmer than what they're going through. But they managed to pull it off, and it's really quite something. These last few Philip Jose Farmers. Lovely. We're doing well. We're doing well. Let's get the next pile over. So we've got some more Philip K. Dicks. Now, once again, these weren't too bad, were they? They were pretty clean to begin with. So I don't think we're going to have much of an issue. But this was the one that was a little bit brittle, wasn't it, and a little detached, although it's all complete. So play that one. Be very careful with that. There we are. And in the High Castle. It's that lovely copy of Ubik. Particularly nice because it's got a black cover. As I've said before, books with black covers don't tend to survive. If they've been read, any little mark or crease that shows up, and look how beautiful that copy is. It's a real stonker, isn't it? A stonker. It's the only way to describe it. This is another nice early one. Counterclock World. This was a 60s one, wasn't it? This one was a bit beaten up to begin with, so it's having a little bit of extra polish along the top edge. Which is starting to, yeah, I'm just getting the, whatever that was off. Bit of stainage. Getting through them at a good old pace. There's only a few of them that need a little bit of extra work, isn't it? Most of them are absolutely fine. So, pull these Forces book clubs out. I can go in front of these other ones here, like so. Build another pile of sci-fi over there, I think. Just slip them over there, like so. These can sort of go in the middle here. Lovely. What a messy old job this is, isn't it, cleaning books? I said earlier on I cleaned those Second World War illustrated books, and they were in quite an old state because of their age. They really were. Lovely. Yeah, so, as I said, this is not even including the big box of Belmont Towers that I've got to go through, which I think are going to warrant their own dedicated video. So look out for that one quite soon. Really, really hoping that I get to film that before the end of the year. With a bit of luck. Because that's some crazy books in that line, I tell you. Absolutely bananas. These are cleaning up very nicely though, which is all that matters. Lovely. Right, the end is in sight. It's been another epic, hasn't it? But head down, we got the work done. And I, for one, am delighted with the results. There's been some fantastic stuff here. That was one of those covers by W. Francis Phillips, who I particularly like as an artist. He did a lot for Pan, amongst other publishers as well, of course. In fact, this is another one by him. Very, very prolific artist. And this one as well, actually. These are all by W. Francis Phillips. I did have a little bit of dirt on it, but cleaned it up as best I can. I think it was a bit smoky, nicotine-y. But certainly the books, I knew they weren't bad underneath, but they've come up exceptionally well. I'm very, very pleased with them. I really am. But it was unusual to find so many in one hit, and it has taken me to have a real clear afternoon to get these sort of done. And once again, apologies for the hour and a half or whatever it's going to be video. But I know you don't really mind. Give you something to watch over Christmas, won't it? Great cover, that one. Who does it say it's by? It doesn't. Who did that cover? I wonder if it says inside. Nope. It's a shame. So, answers in the comments. Who did that particular jacket? Last little batch before we do the dolls. Lovely. Pleased to get this one, Goldfinger. Another American one off my list. Only want them in first edition, so it was nice to get these. One's better condition than just normal. It's all right, that, you know. odd early Panther, one that I haven't got. So that's always cool. Don't have many of these. They don't seem to turn up very often. Not anymore anyway. Not in nice shape either. And lovely to have another digit that I've not got. Not picked any digits up for ages. I don't really go out my way to buy them per se. You know, I'm not actively looking at every single missing title on eBay or anything like that. But it is nice to come across one as part of a collection now and again. And this is the first one that I've come across that way in ages. So that's why it's cool. Last little batch before the little door run. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm sure that's a Robert Maguire cover painting, that one. He did so many, of course, you know, but nice to see. So gold medals. Benefited from a little polish, didn't it, that one? Slip that one up there. So yeah, looking ahead, there's plenty planned on the channel. Hopefully I can keep up my current output, 3 videos a week on my main channel and one on my one brand new one, I should say, every Saturday on my other channel. If I can keep that going, I'll just be happy to do that. I'd love to do more, but sadly I have to do a job as well. Let's get these doors done now. But you do hear about people giving up their work and just doing YouTube full time. Sadly, I'm not quite in that department yet, but it would be nice to think one day, probably when I retire. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching me go through this. It was a particularly good lot this month, and as I said, I'm probably not going to have anything like as much next month because I'm concentrating on buying presents rather than buying stuff for myself. However, I have had some stuff bought for me, and as I said, I did have that video of the War Illustrated, which I'm going to pop up on my other channel because I think it's more suitable for that one rather than this one. So just hop on over to there if you fancy watching that, because I think it's a fascinating old set. And do have a think if there's something you particularly like to see me cover on the channel that I've not done before. Just give us a shout, you know. I aim to please. But there seems to be no end of books that need cleaning. I just need to get a bit better at clearing my doubles. So I have listed quite a few of my doubles, and unfortunately I've got about 600, 700 books still to list up on eBay. So predominantly old pans that are doubles up, but I do list stuff on there, and I put a link to my eBay listings in the description down below. So do check those out, because often I've got, you know, some vintage paperbacks on there of some sort, and I'm usually very, very cheap because I need them, you know, once they go onto eBay I want them gone basically. So I generally don't overprice the books or anything like that. I just put them out to sell, priced to sell, you could say. Sure, I used to have this one, you know, but definitely haven't got it anymore. It's an interesting old film if you've never seen Straw Dogs. Not bad at all. Lovely. The end is sadly nigh. It's been a great way to spend a couple hours cleaning what was one of the best hauls of the year, to be honest, book-wise this time around. They're really some great stuff, so I'm very, very pleased to have been able to share all these with you. Certainly some real rarities, as well as some more common stuff, but just cool stuff all the same. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed today's video, give it the old thumbs up and share it across social media if you like it. Help gets the word out, brings new people to the channel, and it's all good. If you've never considered supporting me for like as a dollar or a pound on Patreon or YouTube channel membership, it's really easy to do. Please do. You get to see these at least one video early every single week, and you got a bit more direct access to me, and it helps support the channel. And I don't just mean buy me more books. I mean sort of in the running costs of it. So there we are. So I think what would be fun is if we take a little step back and just do a little overview of the entire collection. So there we go. What an amazing lot. A superb month, November, and I wish every month was like that, although I would never have the space. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, do please give it the thumbs up. Do please consider subscribing if you've not already for regular vintage paperback content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye.